And welcome back to the WJCU Sports Football Pregame Show. My name is Nikolena Samac, and I am joined here with graduate wide receiver Ty Montgomery. Ty, how are you feeling today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm awesome. We're super excited to have you in for this pregame show, and I think we get rolling with the questions.
Yeah.
So, we know you have a really fascinating past story of how you ended up at John Carroll. You grew up in Houston, Texas, played for Nicholls State in Louisiana, and then ended up here at John Carroll in Northeast Ohio. So, we just want to know, how has John Carroll played a role in that story and really impacted your life these past 2 years?
Honestly, if it wasn't for John Carroll, I just don't think a lot of the success that I'm having now would have played out to how I was playing. But, John Carroll has been an important factor in my life, and I'm just super blessed to be here. I love the school. I love my teammates. I love my coaches, most importantly, because, they gave me a chance when I feel like a lot of doubt was against me. So, yeah, just super beyond blessed.
Yeah, that's incredible. And obviously, the school is so blessed to have you. You've made such an incredible impact on this team week after week. How do you manage being so consistent and adapting to these levels of play, especially in a new conference with new offenses?
Right. I think just a lot of film study, just practice too. Like me and my coaches, teammates, we practice as if it's games every day. So, whenever we get into game situations, it's just secondhand nature. So I think just putting in the extra work in whenever the lights are not on us. When the lights do become on us, is easy,
And so one of the most storied games of this season was the game against DePaul. Myself and my co-director, Owen Close, we did travel down to that game, all to Indiana, and we got to witness the incredible game-winning touchdown in what is probably the longest football game of any of our lives. It was almost 6 hours. And we did see a clip from the DePaul stream after where you were just embracing Coach Behrman and celebrating that moment with your teammates. What did that mean to you, and how exciting was making such an incredible play like that?
I just want to give a big shout out to Coach B. He was my coach that recruited me. My mom recently passed in June of this year, June 26th. So when everything happened, it was just it's a lot of emotions. I was just thinking about my mom, and Coach B and I have a special bond, and he was just there for me. He believed in me. My teammates believed in me in that moment. That was a big time game for us. But without those guys, that wouldn't have been possible. So, yeah, I love them. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're really sorry to hear about your mom. We always send condolences your way, and
thank you.
It's just really incredible how you've been playing this entire season. And you talked about your teammates and how important those connections are, and specifically with quarterback Nick Semtenfelter. How would you describe your chemistry with him, and how has it evolved over these past 2 years?
I'll say our chemistry is one of a kind. With my journey as into coming into football, it's not like the norm. I started playing at 21, and just with practice and everything, I think Nick was extremely patient with me and just allowed me to make mistakes and learn from them. So, the big improvement from last year to this year, just like, I guess just the reps. We just always stuck with it. Anytime I had questions, he was always patient, like I said, and just was there for me.
Yeah, and I even know there's been times I've been up in the press box like midday filming content for other teams and doing sports information work, and we always see you guys out there just practicing, taking reps, and it really does show on the field. So, you talked too about, just improvements and learning from mistakes, and I was reading an article, d3football.com, and you talked about how one of your, goals this year was improving football IQ, which is actually something we talk a lot about up in the booth, is making those smart moves. What work did you put, in, on, and off the field that kind of helped you achieve that goal?
I want to say, like, during the off season, I used to be up 11, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock at night, and I used to send a text to my receiver coach, Coach Rover, and I'll just be watching film, and I'll have, like, on this route, should I run it like this? And, the film might not even be over me. It may have been over players in the past, and just like, I knew physically I was gifted, and I just wanted to be able to have the smarts on the field as well, just to be a diverse player. You just don't want to be limited to one thing. So I think just those long nights of just watching film and then going on the field and just using my imagination as if, like, you know, the players are out there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the players are out there on the field, so I'm just going through the motions of it. So once I got to the game, it's like this is the same stuff I saw in my mind during the off season. So I think it just became secondhand nature for me.
Yeah, I mean, one of the always, you know, things that was fascinating for me, back when I was in high school, our football coach, in my opinion, he was literally a genius. He was like a statistics whiz. And I feel like he kind of did similar things, like imagining who's out in the field, what the moves they're going to make, using the probability of what's going to happen. And I mean, amazing football coach. He's incredible. But, you know, I think those late nights, the reps, like you said, it's so important. And being able to learn from other players, not even just yourself, is really commendable.
Usually I learn from the mistakes, honestly. I think I made my own mistakes last year, so that was one thing I did like to look into, just to, I guess, not make the same mistakes for this year. So I think just looking at the small little details, because that's one thing we do preach about every day, is like the details, because that's what matters. It comes down to those big time games. So if we're not executing with those details, which relates to the IQ, I feel like, you know, we may fail. So I just try to stay on top of that and just be the best player I can for my coaches and my teammates.
For sure. So, you know, we're going to talk a little bit about some accolades later, but beyond all of that, what are some personal milestones or improvements that you're the most proud of making this season?
I guess like making preseason All-American. That was one thing that when I saw when it came out, I was very excited and just blessed and grateful to have that. I have put in a lot of work, and I think, you know, it's a lot of stuff people don't see. You know, it's a lot of catching up I had to do. So I think I'm just proud of myself for just not giving up and just staying hungry. Like, even now, like, I have all these accolades and milestones, but I just feel like, you know, I'm not where I want to be yet. So I just got to stay hungry, stay humbled, and just stay blessed up and trust God. Yeah,
that's incredible. And, you know, at the time of this interview, you were named as NCAC Athlete of the Week twice, and you were also named to the D3Football.com Team of the Week, which is a really big deal. What do these accolades kind of teach you about growth and consistency as an athlete?
I think it's just the work. Like, when you put that work in, you see the results, you see it pay off. So I think just seeing all those accolades I was getting with back-to-back Player of the Week and being on Team of the Week for D3, I think it was just like, okay, my work is paying off. Like, if I keep going, how much more can I get? Like, what else can I achieve? So I think it's just more the hunger of like, okay, if I keep going, like, you know, what else is out there for me, or what else could I reach? I really want to reach my full potential, and I feel like I'm nowhere close to that. So just staying hungry is the most important part.
Yeah, and I definitely see that translating on the field. I mean, we see it up in the press box, and, you know, I think the difference between fans and even to commentators, but even to players, is you don't always know, like, what work goes into running routes, what work goes into learning offense and defense. You know, like, we put the work in to do, say, like a sheet of who's on each team, like who's going to be the other team's quarterback. But, you know, we're not thinking, like, what's going to happen? What is there to reach? And it was kind of interesting. You mentioned, you know, like, just climbing for more, reaching for more. And I was just kind of laughing to myself. I've been working on a graphic that might be coming out later in this year, and there's a mountain in it. So, you know, we see the work and just climbing, continuing to reach and improving this, even just the team as a whole, like setting records, you know, making it to the playoffs for the first time since 2016 was incredible. It was such a blast. Speaking of playoffs, we are just 2 games away from postseason play. Have there been any goals that you've set for yourself heading into this, or is the team beginning to think about it?
I think the chemistry as a team has been very great. So I know all of us, like all my team, we believe that we're going to do our thing this weekend and come out with the win. So, you know, we could get an automatic bid and win conference. But I think another thing, too, that we're looking at is the national championship. I feel like we have a real chance. Like, and I think most importantly, it starts off with chemistry. I feel like it was one thing we kind of, I'm not going to say we lacked, but I just feel like it wasn't as strong last year as it is this year. And I just think, you know, with we all hold each other accountable, you know, and I think that is the most important thing, you know, just being able to take accountability and just push yourself to greatness.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we hear in these interviews, and even just talking to athletic staff, we interviewed Brian Polian earlier this year, is everyone agrees that this year, this team is special.
Yeah.
It's different.
Mm-hmm.
Even in years way prior to any of us being in college, this team is a special one, and I think everyone agrees with that. So kind of moving a little bit into the academic side, you are a star athlete, but you're also a student and you're studying digital marketing. How do you balance both the athletics and the, education world, and do you have any habits that help you stay on track?
I think most importantly, I would say I'm blessed to have an online class. So I do take time whenever I have free time. In the mornings, when I wake up in the morning, I like to get my work out the way so I could focus on football. I mean, that's what I love. I love football.
Yeah.
So, I know I got to, like my mom always told me, do the things you need to do so you can do the things you want to do. So I know starting off, I got to do my schoolwork. I got to do the schoolwork so I can play football. So I think just, doing time management and just knowing what's important and holding myself accountable once again. So, that's what I follow by.
So I want to go a little bit back to our interview with you last year when we were talking a little bit more about your journey to football. You mentioned that your little brother was one of the people that really pushed you and inspired you to pursue football. And he's now a freshman quarterback at Eastern Kentucky. How have you guys, continued to bond over football and helped each other grow as he enters into his college journey?
That's my dog. I just want to start with that. That's my dog. He kind of saw the vision for me before I even saw it for myself. With him being in Kentucky, I think just a lot of FaceTime calls. I mean, we'd be on FaceTime. We had the phone propped up to where I could see my laptop, he could see his laptop, and we would just be talking about football all day long. Or we may get on the game and just, learn from the game. There's a lot of stuff you can learn from the game as far as reading defenses and stuff like that. So I think we just communicate all the time, and just we like to talk about our journey and how one day we're gonna be on the same team. So so that's our end goal. So we just like to stay hungry, stay humble, stay on top of each other to make sure we get to that goal, because that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I know, obviously we hear that too, with Kenny Rawls and Nick Semptenfelter, coming back to John Carroll was so special for them because they got to be on the same team again they were. So, we've been talking a lot about football and, your career here at John Carroll, but we also like to give the listeners a chance to kind of peek into who's Ty outside of football. So we have just 3 fun questions to ask you. So the first one is, outside of football, what sport do you think or wish that you could go pro in?
Obviously basketball. That was the first love. So, I mean, that's what I thought I was going to be able to do. So, I mean, basketball, most importantly, was what I wanted to go professional in. And one sport that I didn't get to really tap into was baseball. I feel like I could have been a good outfielder. Now that I'm playing football, I feel like outfielder in baseball could have, maybe have some correlation. But basketball, though, for sure is my number one.
I was an outfielder when I used to play softball. It was so much fun. I love that so much. I miss it all the time.
It doesn't look hard at all. I mean, you see the ball, you can go up there and go get it. So,
and you have a glove, so it makes it so much easier. It's like having a bigger hand. I love it. I miss it. What team at kind of any level of football has your favorite jerseys?
Oh, like colorway?
Yeah.
I'd probably say the Dolphins. They got that turquoise and orange. That's like a beautiful color combination. I like the Texans too, like the navy blue with the red with the white. I like John Carroll colors too. This is my team. I like the gold with the navy blue. Hopefully one day in the future we could get some more jerseys going. But I mean, those are by far probably my top 3 colorways. Jerseys.
The Dolphins are nice. The bright colors are fun. I especially like when it's the, kind of like teal and orange accented onto white. Very clean. Very clean.
See, ball then. Ball.
I love football.
So,
final question. Who on the team has your favorite celebration? Can you describe it? And you were a very popular answer to this question this year.
You said I was a popular answer?
Yep.
Oh, wow. I'll probably say Nemo Jenkins and Kenny. I'm not trying to leave anybody out, so if any of the guys see this, I'm sorry. But we be in practice every day. We be over there trying to get stuff together, ready for the game, trying to see what sellies we're gonna do. And sometimes before the game, we might get a little carried away, be on the sidelines practicing. Okay, we gonna do this time, but I'm gonna say Nemo and Kenny for sure, because that's who I always go to about my celebrations.
Yeah, we love watching it from the press box and seeing it on the sports information, like JCU sports pages. I'm always like, that's very cool.
Yeah,
it looks very cool.
Yeah, we try to give the people, we try to give the people something to look forward to. So try to give a little entertainment as well, just not besides the game, but with some of the stuff that we see off of TV, Instagram, stuff like that.
Yeah, it keeps it fun. It keeps it light. Nice. Yeah, absolutely. Well, that was our final question. Thank you so much for joining us in this interview today. We were very excited to have you. We pushed this one to later because we were like, we want to give him as much time to play football as possible.
Thank you.
So good luck later this afternoon when we kick off against Ohio Wesleyan. But WJCU listeners, stay tuned because after this short break, Caitlin Minnie and Nick Colbert are going to be on the call for the kickoff right here on WJCU 88.7.